Before you quit your job, ask yourself these 6 questions, because most people, when they're thinking about a career change, they are just asking themselves the obvious questions like, will it be safe? How about my financial situation? What about if I get fired in the probation period? But those questions won't get you any answer about whether it's actually time for a career change or not. So if your career looks good on paper, but it feels wrong from the inside, this video is for you. A client of mine, he waited for more than 10 years before he took the decision to make a career change. But during this whole time, he felt that something was wrong. He really didn't like his work, but he just postponed this decision until something seemed to break. And that's what most people do. They wait until something breaks. And that's normally burnout, or recently, it's the mass layoffs. So someone else takes the decision for you, and then you're forced to change your career anyway. And these 6 questions that I'm sharing with you right now, they let you know earlier if it's time for a career change or not. And then you can still decide if you want to make that leap or if you just want to stay where you are. But then it's an intentional decision that you're making out of whatever reason. That's okay. So you're not being held back by superficial questions that don't get you anywhere. By the way, all of what I'm teaching here on YouTube, you'll also find all those tools in my Mental Mastery Academy. It's my inner circle of senior professionals who are building meaningful careers and even going solo instead of following the 9-to-5 grind. You find the link down in the description. Now let's dive right into it. The first question is, how exhausted are you on a scale from 0 to 10? Where 0 is not at all and 10 is I can't cope with it anymore and I really don't want to get out of bed. So what does this question tell you? So let's have a look at being exhausted, because there are 2 different types of being exhausted. One is being tired. So after a long day of work, you come back home and you're tired, but then you take a good night's sleep and you start your next day completely recharged with 100% energy level. So then at the end of the day, you're tired, but you're not exhausted. So exhaustion is really something more profound, a profounder type of being tired. That one that doesn't go away with just a good night's sleep. Exhaustion, it builds over time. And if you feel exhausted, then that is a strong sign it might be time for a career change, because the work itself, you don't generate any energy from it. The second question is, how curious do you still feel about where your current path is taking you on a scale from 0 to 10? And again, while it's totally normal that you'll have a routine, a daily routine that you're not too curious about, there's nothing new in this very routine. There are other parts of your work that require you to learn new skills, to learn new topics, and to still keep growing. So it should always be a balance of feeling curious, but then also having the opportunity to act upon it, to actually then follow the curiosity and learn new skills. So, how curious do you still feel about your current path? The third question is, how strong do you still currently want this job on a scale from 0 to 10? And I really mean want, in terms of it excites you, it challenges you, and you have an opportunity to grow inside this job. So the opposite of this would be you don't want the job, but you feel that you need the job for the income that it generates. That's a completely different story. So then you need the job. But this question is all about how much do you want this job? And the fourth question is on a scale from 0 to 10, how much does your current environment, so your team, your employer, the people around you, how much does this environment help you grow on a scale from 0 to 10? The opposite, again, would be that your current environment actually lets you shrink. It constantly undermines your self confidence, and not only momentarily, but constantly over months and years. And the fifth question is, and that's a very tricky and interesting one to answer, what parts keep showing up in your frustration? Let me share an example. So, one of the biggest frustrations in my old job, where I was working in a big international IT consulting firm, was a value mismatch. So, while we were consulting big international firms on their IT, how to implement the most up to date processes, how to automate, how to bring software and processes into the cloud, our own infrastructure was from the 80s, so nothing automated, nothing in the cloud, and there was a big value mismatch. And that was a pattern that kept showing up again, always in different forms, in different situations. But the pattern here was we don't role model what we sell to our clients. So now think about, what are these frustrations that keep showing up and the pattern behind it? And now the last question, that's also a big one, where maybe you want to take really some time, close the doors, make sure nobody is going to distract you. The question is, what dream of yours do you keep postponing, and you think like, oh, next year I'm gonna do it, or when I retire I'm gonna do it, or when the children are out of the house I'm gonna do it. So for whatever reason you're postponing it, what is it that you are postponing, and something that you really want, maybe a dream that you've had since you were a child? So now take your time to find some answers for each and any of those 6 questions. While you don't have to answer all of them at once, just start with the one that intrigues you the most. So now take some time to reflect on those questions, and then connect it back to your original question. So, how does your original question, whether it's time for a career change, how does that question change? Which answers have now popped up that change how you think about this decision? And remember, all the tools, all the perspectives, all the tutorials, all the templates and frameworks that I'm teaching here on YouTube, you'll find all of that in my Mental Mastery Academy. The link is down in the description. I'd really love to see you there too. And many people who are thinking about a career change, they feel deeply misaligned. And I have another video, which is a tool. It's called the Ikigai, that helps you find alignment in your job. So you'll find the video right here now in the corner. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.